Hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Craving Crypto podcast. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin WEX pump to 9,000 per coin. And then we're going to be going over why I think hackers have some negative effects on the crypto space, but why crypto will surpass these problems. And as always, the market review. So let's get right into this. All right, so let's get right into the market overview. Headed over to coinmarketcap.com. Hit that refresh button to make sure we have all the most updated prices. Market capitalization is at $242 billion. 24-hour volume is at 11 billion. Bitcoin total market cap is 105.3 billion. Current price is $6,145. 24-hour volume is 3.6 billion, and the 24-hour change is down 3.84%. Ethereum is at 42 billion in market cap. Price is at $423. 24-hour volume is 1.4 billion, and the 24-hour change is 4.6% down. Ripple is at 16 billion in market cap. Price is at 42 cents. 24-hour volume is at 173 million, and the price is down 0.467%. Bitcoin Cash is at 11 billion in market cap. The price is $670. 24-hour volume is 3 times more than Ripple, or actually about double, at 321 million, and the 24-hour change is down 4.8%. EOS is at 5.9 billion in market cap. Price is $6.69. 24-hour volume is 572 million, and the 24-hour price change is down 6.15%. So everything is still looking pretty good in the market cap. We're bleeding off a little bit right now, and we'll just zoom into the chart here for a second and analyze some of what's going on here. So I just have from the beginning of the year drawn out, and as you can see, the peak was about 829 billion in market cap, and now we are down at the $240 billion levels. So the support is at $237 billion, and I'd like to see this hold as support so we can get some type of a double bottom here. Now, if we don't get a double bottom here, I've mentioned a few different times that it's possible that we go for the $200 billion level in total market cap, although I'm not going to predict that until we actually have that support failure. So just watching the market cap overall, keeping, an open mind about the direction that it can go, but currently I'm kind of leaning towards a double bottom formation forming. So anyways, let's get into the topic for the week, which is Bitcoin pumps to 9,000. Now, this is like a little bit misleading because Bitcoin didn't pump to 9,000 on every single exchange, but it did pump to 9,000 on one specific exchange. And some people would say that this is an arbitrage opportunity, but I'll make some points as to why this wouldn't be. And for those who don't know, arbitrage is when the price is higher on one exchange. So you buy on a cheap exchange and then sell to the expensive exchange. So there's this exchange called WEX, and this actually used to be BTCE. So used to be this exchange called BTCE, but they had some problems with the US government. The creator apparently got fined like $110 million by the US government, and then I don't know all the details, but apparently they opened back up as WEX, or at least that's from what I can get information on, that's what happened. And this exchange has been running, all through the bull run in 2017, or the majority of the bull run. And then it corrected in the spring with everything else. And the prices fell just like everything else did. But right here, when the price made a new low everywhere else, it actually didn't make a new low. As you can see, the low on this exchange was $6,967. And it actually double bottomed at that level when it came back over to the same price recently. As you can see, we actually double bottomed at $6,048, and then the price just rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied and rallied all the way up to 9,000, or just about $5 under 9,000 per coin. And then now the price has just dumped since then. As you can see, this was a big bear wick, meaning that all the buyers got squeezed into this tiny little spot where it couldn't sustain any more growth. and now it's just selling off completely. So this is really interesting, and from what I can find doing a little bit of digging around on Twitter, you have an official Twitter, and it's just Wex and Z. As you can see, some of their tweets are in Russian for some reason. I don't really know what that's all about, but as you can see, they talk about how they were going to do maintenance on their system, and they had a scheduled maintenance. And what's interesting is the price pumped right before their scheduled maintenance, and then they did their maintenance, and then they did some weird tweets around the same time that it was topping out on the 7th when it started to really get parabolic. They said some weird tweets about something is happening in TradingView. They didn't even spell TradingView right. And they said, so our charts show another nice company stock values. And then a smiley face. I don't know what this means, but it was happening at the same time as all of this pumping. So I do think that this was some type of manipulation by this exchange. TCE, the exchange before them, was already having some issues with the government. Then it makes sense that maybe this exchange isn't very trustworthy. So I do warn against anybody that has money on this exchange to see if you can get the withdrawals. I do not personally have an account here, so I don't know if the deposits and withdrawals are active, but I definitely wouldn't be trying to arbitrage the price difference due to the fact that you don't know if this exchange is just going to randomly shut down at any second, or really what is going on here. It's just not trustworthy really to be messing with this website when there's this much price manipulation. And we've been talking about price manipulation a few different times in this podcast with Syscoin. Go back and watch that video. It's pretty interesting at how Syscoin pumped to 96 Bitcoin on Binance. And you know, we've been talking a little bit how this can happen on exchanges, whether it's hackers, whether it's an exchange adjusting values to make people FOMO, or there's lots of different things that can go on. But in this specific case, I believe that they were doing some type of manipulation through their exchange. I don't know exactly what, but they definitely pumped the price up on here. Yeah, I'm just kind of watching this. It's interesting to see as the prices rallied like that. And comparing it to other Bitcoin charts, this doesn't look anything like any of the other Bitcoin charts right now. They're all a lot lower. And maybe there is a small possibility that this exchange isn't going to do an exit scam and is actually safe. There's a small chance, and I'm not saying to use this exchange or anything, but sometimes you do have what's called a leading exchange. And so one exchange will have a huge pump in the price, and then the other exchanges follow shortly behind. I'm not saying that that is going to happen here, but just understand that that does happen. And so if everything else starts to pump up towards 8,000 quickly, this may have just shown some early price action. BitMEX, all during the bull run of 2017, BitMEX was the leading exchange for Bitcoin prices. It wasn't exactly this fast though. You couldn't see it that far ahead of time. It was more like an hour or two difference or 30 minutes difference because there was so much more volume and leverage volume on BitMEX that the price was just actively updated in comparison to the other places. So this is cool to see. The price is definitely dumping now after all of that FOMO, which is expected. It has to correct to the same price as other exchanges on the market. If there is deposits and withdrawal enabled, again, I do not have an account here, so I can't tell you for sure if there is or not. But if they do have that, then I'm sure some people are buying from other exchanges, depositing their Bitcoins here, and then selling at an instant profit because that is something you can do. So that's going to drag the price down significantly as well. All right, so that's pretty interesting that that happened. Again, I'll try to keep you guys updated if I find any more information on it, or if they do exit scam or something like that, I'll let you guys know. But there's definitely some sort of manipulation here, or maybe there's a leading exchange in the market, but I'm not gonna bet that necessarily just because it is a little bit sketchy with what they were saying on their Twitter and some of the things that the company has had in the past with their BTCE, their previous exchange. So, but yeah, so let's talk a little bit about hackers and how this affects the cryptocurrency space and kind of my thoughts on that in general, because hacking is a topic that you hear a lot brought up when people are like, okay, I'm trying to find a reason to hate cryptocurrency, which everybody will find a million reasons to hate something that's new and makes people have to change the way that they used to do things. Like, people aren't generally, it's just human psychology to not necessarily be too keen to change. And for people that are really stuck in the old systems, they like to find reasons that they don't want crypto to succeed, because either the human psychological aspect of change, or they're just, you know, there's lots of people in this world that just like to nitpick the negative out of everything rather than looking at what the actual practical uses are. And so hackers get brought up a lot. They're like, oh, well, hackers are going to ruin crypto. You know, if it's digital, it's going to get hacked. And my response to that is that that's why crypto was created, is because our current money system can get hacked pretty easily. And it's all still digital. 93% of currency, 93% of US currency at least, is all a number on a computer. So the amount of physical cash there is in the market, minority of the entire market, you don't have that much of it. And so our current money system can get hacked, by the way. It's a central system that has security flaws. And same with any centralized database like Facebook or Google. These companies that have large storage facilities of personal data, they can get hacked and manipulated. Now, what the blockchain does is the blockchain is actually a lot more hacker-proof than any of our other current systems for storing data. And money is just data in today's world, by the way. Believe it or not, I don't care if you're still into the old system. The old system's all data still. All of your money is still just a number on a computer. So whether you like Bitcoin or whether you like the US dollar, it doesn't matter. You're still using digital money. You know, we all have Visa cards. We swipe them everywhere, and that's digital. It's not a physical thing. So humanity is already kind of used to using digital money, and some people like to bring that up as an argument as well, but they just don't realize that that's what they're doing already. So one thing is the blockchain allows for a decentralized system. So the issue with a centralized system is there's a point of attack. And whenever you have a system where all of the data is stored in a facility that you can physically drive to, people can hack that facility. And the difference between blockchain is you can't go drive to where the blockchain is located. You can't hop in your car and be like, okay, I'm headed down to the Bitcoin network today. I'm going to go jump into the system and see what I can get. That's impossible with Bitcoin because there's no central location. The miners distribute it, which distributes the risk. So the hacking risk is significantly lower in the cryptocurrency space than in any centralized system. So this is one of the reasons that Bitcoin is such an amazing idea, and one of the reasons that the blockchain is so useful, because you can take these systems which used to be centralized, and we used to have to trust a central authority to tell us whether it was safe or whether our data was safe or any of these things, and we can make it so that we run it. You know, everybody runs it. There's no spot that you can drive to and hack into the server or hack into the database and take it. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't still some issues with hacking. You know, if somebody is able to hack enough miners, they could potentially, if they can hack 51% of the miners, then they can download code onto all of those miners and basically fork a chain. But at that point, if you fork a chain and you hack it like that, because everybody uses the chain, it would instantly lose its value. So it's not necessarily a useful hack because everybody would know that it's happening, and therefore the value of the chain would just be lost. So there's not a real incentive for doing that type of a hack. But it is something that's technically possible, but it's highly computer intensive and highly resource intensive. It would cost so much money, it would cost more money than is inside of cryptocurrency to hack the Bitcoin network. Meaning that there's no profit or gain in doing so, so nobody's going to want to do it. But again, that is a thing that is technically possible. And then the other type of hacking is that if you have your keys, your private keys, like your Trezor wallet is really, really safe. But if you have like a digital wallet just downloaded on your computer, and then a hacker gets onto those keys, they have your Bitcoin. So that is a thing that's still there, right? If a hacker directly hacks you, then they have your Bitcoins, because if they have your private keys, then they have access to your money. They're in control of it, so they can send it back and forth. So if your private keys aren't stored safely on a Trezor wallet and backed up, then there's something that can potentially happen to you. Now, again, I recommend hardware wallets because that eliminates that problem quite significantly as well. But as far as like hacking the blockchain, that's not really something that's going to happen. And the blockchain is highly, highly secure. That's why it's such an amazing idea, is because of this. And then if you move on to the aspect of your personal funds and whether hackers are doing that, then you have to reply back to the fact that our current banking system can be directly hacked. Identity theft is a huge problem in this world. A huge problem. It's like 1 in every, it might even be a higher statistic, so don't quote me on this, but it's at least 1 out of every 5 people has debt on their credit score that they don't even technically owe because somebody stole their identity and added debt, and they're paying towards this every single month. And most people don't even realize that they're doing that, but they are. So identity theft is a big deal, and really holding your personal keys is, I think, a lot more safer than our current system for all of these things. It's less centralized and a lot more decentralized and safer from even direct hacking if somebody wants to target an individual. So that's my thoughts on hackers. It is something to be thinking about, just like everything else. I love to bring up these different discussions about flaws crypto has, because if you break them down and then think about it logically and then keep the big picture in mind, you can always see how it's likely to get past these issues and why it's such a great technology. So, but it is good to think about these things. It's important to realize that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency isn't perfect, and it's far from perfect. It's heavily underdeveloped, and there needs to be a lot of movement and work in a positive direction to take us where we need to be. But it functions right now, and it's going to continue to function, and that function isn't going away, and the demand for that function isn't going away. So it's going to stick around, and it's only going to grow from here. All right, so let's do a Q&A, or let's reply to a comment in the previous video from the comment section. First of all, I would really like to thank you guys for giving me 78 likes on my video yesterday. This one blew up really quickly and I got a lot of positive feedback from it, so I appreciate that. Let's make a goal for this video. Let's see if we can get to 100 likes, so go ahead and hit that like button. I really appreciate that, and the engagement is great. So let's go down here and read a couple comments. And Scott Sperling says, "Hey Dallin, this is a huge plus for me. I'm in your classes and I really like watching your videos here. It definitely brings a little something extra. I have been a student of Dallin's for a while now. I was very hesitant of signing up for any kinds of classes of schooling because I am the type of person who learns hands-on. Hands-on, I can do anything. Throw me a book, not so much. Dallin is an excellent teacher. He makes his lessons straight and to the point, step-by-step instructions, and if you have any questions at any time, Dallin is right there to help. No waiting around, he gets to you whenever. Dallin is right on top of it, gets right back to you, and is there until you know it. Freaking killer. Many thanks, man, and I really appreciate everything." Hey Scott, I appreciate that comment and that positivity. I really, really like it when people comment and give me feedback on my information that I provide to you, because I do have a passion for this, and so seeing other people grow from this helps me have motivation to continue to do it. So thank you so much, Scott. I appreciate that positive comment. And Soli says, "Nice guitar bit at the end. You're good. What is the song you were playing, by the way?" So I was playing Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. That was just my little interpretation of it. It's one of my favorite songs, and I really appreciate that comment, Soli. Keep them coming. Okay, so the Coinigy sign up is below here if you're interested in charting cryptocurrencies. BitMEX is right here if you want to do leverage trading, although I don't recommend it for beginners. And my Bitcoin address is right here. If you like what I'm doing, you can go ahead and donate. Lastly, the website's right there as well. Hey, thank you so much for tuning in today's video. I hope that you've been learning from these podcasts. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the box below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next episode. As always, stay profitable out there.